welcome to this class. In this class, we will first look at what is this analytical marketing system. What does it make use of? When we are looking at analytical marketing system, we are looking at basically the statistical bank. In other words, an analytical marketing system always makes use of a statistical bank. The next question comes, what does this statistical bank involve? It involves multiple regression analysis. Generally these are the things which we make use of. Multiple regression analysis, then discriminant analysis. What do we mean by multiple regression analysis? We are looking at, for example, the demand for a product in terms of different variables which are likely to influence demand. Take the demand for any product. The likely variables which are going to affect or influence the demand will be the price of the product, 1. Second is the availability of the product, 2. Third is the disposable income of the consumer to take this product. Okay, like this you can keep on listing. So the market demand for a particular product will be the dependent variable. It depends on so many independent variables like the price, the place, then the different characteristics of the product, then the disposable personal income of the consumer, all those types of things. So when you regress the dependent demand against all these independent variables, you are essentially doing multiple regression analysis. What are you trying to do by doing this? You are going to find out from the number of independent variables you have chosen to explain the increase or the decrease in demand, what is the percentage that is getting explained. Suppose you have chosen 4 independent variables. They explain 70% of the variation in the market demand. That is, your R squared comes around 70%. That means to say the number of variables, independent variables that have been chosen explains 70% of the variation in the demand for the product, okay, which is generally considered good in marketing. Then the second one which we make use of is called the factor analysis, the discriminant analysis. Factor analysis is the third. What do we mean by saying discriminant analysis? We are looking at consumer traits. What could be an example for this? Look at the owner of a Maruti 800 car, vis-a-vis the owner of a Benz. What are the types of characteristics you can distinguish clearly between the owner of a Maruti 800 car and a Benz car owner? The first thing which you can make out is the income category in which these two consumers are likely to fall will be very different. Second thing which you can see is their social characteristics, that is the way they mix with the social class of people may also be different. So all these factors are captured using discriminant analysis. So the traits of the consumer for different products. Some of the products may be luxury products, some of the products may be essential products. So these different traits are really captured using discriminant analysis, which also makes use of multiple regression incidentally. Okay. Then the third one which we do is factor analysis. So in this factor analysis, what are the instead of the single independent variables, we group them into factors, because all variables which are concerned with price, we group them under one factor, say factor 1. All factors concerned with income, we group them under one more factor, say factor 2. Again, the dependent demand is explained in terms of different factors. When do you resort to factor analysis is the next question. You resort to factor analysis when the number of variables is more and you want to condense them to different factors. So you group these variables under different heads, maybe group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. And using the same multiple regression analysis, you use a factor analysis. Instead of the independent variables, you make use of the factors to explain the variation in the dependent factor or the dependent variable. The cluster analysis is the next one which we do. An example for this would be your automobile groups. So there will be different automobile groups. One is the small car group, second is the mid-sized car group, third is the luxury car group, maybe fourth you can have it as a the SUVs. So group all these under different clusters and find out how the demand for these clusters are changing using these different groups. Suppose you are looking at the demand for one cluster, how the other clusters are affecting this demand. Then the next one which we make use of is what is called a conjoint analysis. What do we mean by a conjoint analysis? We look at designing an appealing product for a target market. We don't want to come out with a product just for the sake of coming out. We have specified a target market. For that target market, only some products will have product appeal. So when these products have product appeal, the conjoint analysis looks at designing an appealing product for that particular target market. So maybe you are a user of a sports car. So you are looking at a sports car for a particular segment. Those who are fond of driving at a very high speed. So when you are designing this sports car for this particular target market, you include certain special characteristics in that product. Though it is going at a very high speed, it should be able to brake immediately without hurting the driver. Even with all that, many times in the car races, the driver gets hurt, the car becomes turtle. All those types of things still happen. But when a product is designed having this type of a target market under consideration, we make use of this conjoint analysis. Some of the cars like this Porsche from Germany, which are being designed, always having a target market, appealing to that target market, making use of these different types of marketing system models. So basically, these are statistical banks which we make use of to analyze a market. The objective of the statistical bank is to help in analysis of the market. What has been listed here is some of the different types of analysis that can be done. So these are used depending on the situation that you are going to encounter. So you may use a multiple regression analysis or a discriminant analysis or a factor analysis or a cluster analysis or a conjoint analysis depending on the type of situation that presents to you in the marketplace.